Hello everyone and welcome to my Christmas kitchen again. Now today we're going to be making something that you don't actually eat, but we do need to put it in the oven to cook and to dry out, and that's our fantastic salt dough decorations. Now I've got one here to show you. I don't know if you can see how lovely and sparkly that is, and it's a snowflake, but just listen how hard that is. We put it in the oven to actually dry out completely, and if you preserve these, if you actually put a special coating on them, and I'll tell you about that afterwards, they will last forever. Now I've got some that I put on my tree every year that my children made, about 20 years ago, and they still come out. But this one here is a special one. Look how shiny that is. And that is a Christmas tree with fingerprints pressed in it, and I'll show you how to do that as well because it's a lovely, lovely keepsake. Now I'm actually going to turn the camera round and I'm going to point it down into my bowl to make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn you around now. So here we go. We need just 3 very simple ingredients. We need some flour. Now you'll notice I've used a glass here, and we are going to be using the same size container for each measurement or each ingredient that we're using. So we need 1 full glass or cup, whatever it is you're using. So 1 of those into my bowl. Now the same size glass, we're using half of salt. We're just going to give that a little mix. Oh, a little mix. Feel like a song coming on. And then we've got half a glass of water. Now we're not going to put all this in at once because different makes of flour absorb the water more quickly than others. So sometimes you don't need quite as much as the recipe says. Sometimes you need a little bit more. So we're just going to put half in to start off with, and we're going to give it a stir. And we'll see how that goes, see if we need any more. Can you see? It's already starting to form a lovely dough. Now it's plain flour that we use, not self-raising. Oh, this is coming together lovely. I don't think I need the rest of that water. This is where we get our hands dirty. Let's roll up my sleeves and push all that off. And let's just bring it all together in that bowl. Oops. Okay, now we've got a little bit of spare flour that we're going to put on our board. Let me get rid of this bowl, get that out the way because we don't need that anymore. So let's give our board a little sprinkling. Okay, and we're going to knead this for about, only 2 to 3 minutes. And just to make it all lovely and soft. There we go. Oh, it's feeling really lovely here. Oh, superty duper. Now, can you see how lovely? So we're now ready to roll out. Now we need to roll this out, not too thick, because the thicker you make it, the longer it's going to take in the oven. And it is actually going to take about an hour to an hour and a half as it is. We're going to put it on 120 degrees Celsius. And it's going to be about the thickness of just over a £1 coin. Now I used that in my cookie recipe the other day, didn't I? So it is about, can I bring it up and show you? The thickness, just a bit more than a £1 coin, that is. So that is lovely and smooth. Now I've got quite a few cutters here. I have got my snowflake one, and I've got my star one, and I've got my Christmas tree one. Now I'm just going to cut out my snowflake one, first of all. Pop that out. I'm going to cut out a star one. Pop that out, and then we bring, whoops-a-daisy, I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to bring you down a little bit more so you can see my Christmas tree. Let me just pop that here. Now let me just fold that over because we will be coming, I can make some more out of it. Now with this, you can get your child's finger. Now my fingers, they're a bit like sausages because they are really, really big. But get your child's finger that will be really small, and we're just going to pop it, press it down to make little indentations, and these will form our baubles once they've dried out. Now I'll hold it up, see if I can show you. Can you see, I don't know whether it's picking it up, the indentations, but we're going to cook that, and then when we paint it we can dip our finger in the paint and again put our fingers on top of that, and you've got a keepsake of lovely fingerprints. Now we want to put these on the Christmas tree, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So the best thing to use is a straw, and we're just going to poke it with the very end. So we're going to make a hole, if you can see the hole in my star. Can you see that? And my snowflake, and the top of my Christmas tree. Now these I'm going to put onto a baking sheet now, and we're going to pop them in the oven for about an hour. Check them, because if underneath they're still a bit soft, keep them in for an extra 20 minutes to half an hour. As I said, it's about 120 degrees. You can keep them in a little bit longer if you want to. Flip them over and keep them in for a little bit longer, but no more than about 2 hours. But then that will dry them out, and they will last forever and ever and ever if we put our special preservative on it. So I'm going to pop these into the oven. I'll come back in a minute with ones that have been cooked. So I've got some that have come out the oven. There's a snowflake there and a Christmas tree, and have a listen. Don't do that too hard because they might just break, but they're really, really solid and all dried out. Now I've got some acrylic paint here, but you can use any paint you want. I tend to use acrylic paint because it dries really, really quickly, and it's quite thick. And leaves a vibrant colour, but as I said, any paint you can use, and you might just need 2 coats, that's all. Now with this one here, I painted it all green, and then I dipped my finger into some different colour paints and popped it into where my fingerprints were. Now I told you my fingers are like sausages, so they are great big blobs, but your child's one will be lots of nice lovely little baubles on it. Now once that was dry, this is where you want to preserve it, and what I use is something called Mod Podge. Now it's a little bit like PVA glue, but it's more of a sealer, but you can use PVA glue, but what you've got to make sure you do is cover all of the sides. Make sure you cover all of the sides with it. Let the top and the sides dry, then flip it over and coat the back as well. With this one though, my lovely green sparkly tree, I actually went into my daughter's bedroom and I found some green sparkly nail varnish, and I coated this with the green sparkly nail varnish. Can you see that? It's lovely and shimmery, isn't it? The other thing you can use is a clear nail varnish, and that will preserve it as well. The big secret is that you've got to go through every single nook and cranny, all around the sides and all the little corners, and on the back as well. And with this one here, my sparkly snowflake, can you see that sparkling? I actually sprinkled the glitter on after I'd put on the PVA glue, and then that's stuck on. So all they need now is a little ribbon, and then we can pop them onto the Christmas. So salt dough can be used for lots and lots of things. We do use it a lot in class for making autumn time. We did some lovely leaf shapes and we painted those all the different autumn colours. So you can make some lovely, lovely things. But as I said, I am going to pop some ribbon on these here, and I'm going to pop them onto my Christmas tree. And my children's ones, they have lasted over 20 years, so they do last, and they are super duper easy crafts to make. So if you've got some flour in your cupboard, some salt and a little bit of time, okay, just have a go at making some lovely salt dough decorations together, something to treasure and keep forever. So before I go, let me give you a little sprinkling of my elf magic. Are you ready? Happy Christmas, everyone.